Dude, when I was in Pennsylvania, I stayed in an Airbnb, and the husband of the wife who owned the Airbnb was telling me that I couldn't smoke my weed inside and I had to smoke it outside, only cigarettes inside, because in Colorado, her husband was just walking down the street and he drives trucks for a living. And then he failed a drugs test the next week because he was walking behind somebody smoking a joint, and it's obviously gone in his face and it's made him fail the test.
God damn.
That would surprise me.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't believe that at all.
That's what she was telling me. But I mean,
This
if
is
you were
on
like
the
right
level of,
behind
honey, I
somebody
didn't
smoking
mean
a
to
big
fuck her.
joint on the
She was
street,
bending
I don't
over.
I don't doubt that you could. Yeah,
little toilet seat STD there.
That's where I was headed.
Right.
Yeah, she's a real Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either
the
that
original lying whore.
Yeah, precisely. Either that or she telling some not
the Virgin Mary, one who came up with that name.
She did.
Yeah. Before that, she was Mary the
lying
whore. She moved to a new. See, we talk about this all the time. How you could change your identity in older days. Now we're usually talking about the 1970s, but think about the year -36. In that year, 36 before Christ, you could go from Mary the lying whore, you hop on the donkey cart, ride down the road, and now you're Mary the Virgin all of a sudden, and nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah. I imagine like 60 yards away, you could start a new life with a new group of people who don't speak that language.
With like a haircut.
There would be no carryover. Yeah. With like a haircut.
Yeah.
Like a different makeup style.
That can't be Mary the whore. She wears green robes.
They should use like the story of Mary in business school as like an example of framing. Like an example of effective framing, getting out ahead of it, like a PR class. Like, no, the ultimate Mary, Look at all of us speaking in hushed tones. We don't even want to imply that she's not like that. Brilliant. Just giving her props for that. But no, she was a virgin. I'm kidding, God.
Don't be.
Hedge your bets, boys. Let him know you're just kidding.
Yeah.
Be brave.
ABC, always be hedging. Yeah. That checks out.
It's right in line with the pre-show math.
So with the UK weed, all that kind of shit, I was looking at, for some reason, maybe this isn't even weed related, I imagine it is though, that you managed to get banned from France, which is like, who cares? But the United States, which is very big deal. So like, how did that happen? And any plans to get off the banned list for the US, the important one?
I'm trying. It's really hard. You'd be really surprised. I didn't actually get banned anything to do with bud. Surprisingly, France it was to do with weed, but the US, nah. It was just weird. So yeah, with the US, they think I overstayed my visa, but I didn't. I stayed right until the last day of my ESTA, which was 90 days. Flew back from LA 10 p.m. And then 2 trips later, I've flown into Boston, and the guy didn't let me in. I'm thinking, what? He's saying, yeah, you overstayed 2 trips ago. I never overstayed, but turns out the Boston time zone difference is like 3 hours. And on the Boston system, it said I left at 1 a.m. And I didn't. But obviously, I've been coming back into California every time, so they've been letting me in. And then this time they didn't, and they were like, yeah, no, we can't do anything.
Try Hawaii.
So you're like banned from a time zone.
Keep going left.
What it was pretty mad at the time. They put me in ICE jail and then flew me home the next day.
Nice. Were a lot of people looked and sounded like you in the ICE jail?
There was nobody there actually. They just put me in cell by myself.
They already killed them all for the day. Must have been late.
Well, I mean, it's Boston, so like there weren't like it's not that there's Mexicans coming into Boston.
Yeah, they really overshot.
Guess not, right? Like who's invading Boston? If there is clearly ICE in Boston.
What if he flew into a smaller airport? Would they not have the facilities to manage it? Like flying to
a smaller international airport.
Well, I think it's just a bit weird because like you guys from the US, you think it's a lot easier to get into the country than you think. But like once you don't get an ESTA and you get denied, you are like royally fucked.
Yeah. We had a whole presidency about making it harder for y'all to get in here.
Yeah.
And
that was you're thinking, it's going to make it harder for like the Mexicans or whatever, but like, it makes it harder for everyone. And it's like,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I wish they would let you in, but there's some folks that don't need to come back. They should look at it like a privilege.
How can you tell which ones are allowed in, Kyle?
The ones that don't.
I think they should have to pay
their visa.
I think. Look, you go anywhere else in the world, not internationally, of course, but here in my country, you go anywhere else in the United States, you got to pay to get in. There's very few places that allow you to just walk in for free and loiter. And then that's what we've been doing over there at Ellis Island for generation after generation. I say, put a coin machine up there, let them pay and spin the thing and come on in. I don't care who comes, just make them pay.
No, I've had a
Confused. Every
different
place lets you
perspective.
walk in and loiter. Like, where are you paying to go?
Sam's Club?
Sam's Club, Costco.
Yep.
Okay, so that's
Sex clubs?
I bet they charge you to like
I
go to
see.
Dubai. I bet that's not free.
Oh, they pay you to go to Dubai.
No.
No, it's
Yeah.
just everything's
Maybe.
expensive.
If
when
you're a
you get
professional fighter.
I mean, I think that we should let people in based on, like, we have so many people now, it should be like somewhat of a skills competition. Like,
Don't we need more?
We need to like we narrow down what we need. Clearly we need more people who are like obsessed with trains and keeping them working right. We find a couple guys. That guy in England who has the fisheye lens, that he's obsessed with trains. Bring him in. I guarantee that guy is going to be burning the candle at both ends. Just, they're going to be telling him, please go home. And he's like, no, you can't make me. I love my job. Like, that's who we need. We need
This is a
skills
genius
competition.
idea. That
It
guy
is.
would just check.
But isn't his
train
job
brakes
recording
all
trains?
the time.
Guess what happens when someone shows up and they go, yeah, I kind of like trains. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here with your kind of half in, half out train interest.
So a train-centric immigration policy.
Not just about trains. It's just an example of a thing.
No, but
Like,
you know what?
No, I'm with you. You hit it.
Well,
Train-centric.
that is actually an immigration policy, you know, like if you have like a special field or like your excellence in something, then that is actually a thing. You can get a visa for that. But I spoke to my lawyer and I was like, hey, yeah, can I do that for my stuff? And he was like, no, you can't do that for weed.
No.
I'm really
But
good
don't
at
you
smoking
get-
weed, though.
I love it.
Yeah, I think they're looking for mathematicians and like Nobel Prize laureates and shit like that. Maybe Nazis if they're good at making a rocket engine.
Yeah, but that's more for the rocket engine than the Nazi part.
Yeah,
He could-
I really
he could have been-
appreciated
he could have been
watching.
anything. Could have been a crazy guy as long as he's got that rocket part down. NASA wanted him.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, if we didn't take him, the Soviets were going to. It's one of those moral quandaries, right? If you turn your nose up at Nazi scientists only to allow the Soviets, who are more pragmatic, practical, to scoop them all up and advance their rocket program, so now they're the only ones with ICBMs, it's a different world, right? Let's get some Nazis over here. And, you know, we put them in Alabama and Florida anyway. It's not like we had them running around accepting presidential medals of freedom and running entire massive quadrants of our government. We
You know
didn't
what
do
they were
that.
doing? Math.